monitoring workers, relinking, what are the different status, worker status, what do you how when when you run any AD admin task or anything, first it will be in assigned, waiting, assign, running. If it fails, if it got failed, then you have to fix it, restart it, and it will goes to the completion. If it is a normal one, waiting, assign, running, completed. Correct. Then restarting a worker, telling a restart a failed batch process, terminating a hanging worker process, restarting a terminated child process. When we are going to discuss our patching thing, right? Again, we will revisit this so that you better understand. Okay, relinking. How do you relink a individual particular form report, whatever it is? Ad relink.sh. Okay, what is the syntax? That's it. Okay, now okay, auto config. Okay. This is very important utility. Auto config. Auto config is what? Automatic configurations. See, mana mobile lo, what we will do if something goes wrong, we will do a reset. Kada? Yes or no? What will happen is if something goes wrong, if you run the auto config, automatically it will reset all the values. Okay. Getting a okay. You remember when we discussed about context files, correct? Context XML files. Whenever you update the XML file, it is must and sure that you have to run the auto config. Okay. Okay, but you see, let's say you remember we discussed about more than one application node. Yes or no? More than one application node. The moment you have more than one application node, you will have different ports. You will not use a default port. Instead of 8001, it will come as .com. Correct? Yes or no? So what will happen is, uh, let's say in that situation, if you go in such environments, if we go ahead and run the auto config, what will happen is auto config will go and restore the default options. What it will do, auto config, it will do a reset. Whatever is there in the context file, it will read that only. So what we have to make sure is in every environment, before running the auto config, whatever files auto config modifies, those files we will take manual backup, same location. After running the auto config, you will just replace that files. Okay, that you have to remember always. Let's say, okay, you see, let's say I have https prod.oracle.com. Okay, this is my production URL, for example. Okay, to do this, for this to come, what I did was forward url.conf. Okay, some .conf files I'll update in some locations. Okay, so now in this customized environment where I have integrations or more complex this thing, here if I come and run the auto config, what will happen? Auto config will reset the values inside the forward url.conf and other .configuration files and .text files. Okay, so wherever you go, you know how to run the auto config. But what we will do is, we will first ask this question: what are the files which needs to be backed up before running the auto config? This is the question you should ask as a DBA, apps DBA, in the real time to your superiors. Okay, and you should ask, um, and also always you should ask this point number one question, and also go if the gold copy of key configuration files are not present, please take a backup for future reference. Okay. Point number three: if the gold copy is available, okay, go and read and make your own document. Abhi, Suresh, what will happen is, you are new to an environment, and uh, for fixing the issues you have to troubleshoot. Okay, while troubleshooting, for to resolve the A issue, to resolve the A issue, I ran autoconfig. Okay, yes or no? But impact impact of running autoconfig is, it has modified some things in these files. So as a good DBA, always you should know what are the key configuration files of my instance and their location. And if it is not there, you create one folder secretly, one folder on the same server, and you copy all those files. If something goes wrong now, what is troubleshooting? If you keep the value inside this, if the forward URL conf is having somewhere http prod.oracle.com is written, okay, but autoconfig may, if you run that, the default settings will be done. So this value, till it is missing in this file now, you'll keep getting error. To troubleshoot that, you should have a gold copy of this file. Okay, if you have this configuration file backup, or it has to be written in somewhere in the SOP. This is, most of the environments people hide this. It is written, but they will not share. So you as a DBA, working instance mein, wherever it is a working instance, acha, each instance mein you keep a copy. Once the instance is working fine, you identify all the configuration files which are important to your environment and create a folder. Okay, so you create a folder clearly, Suresh. Okay, in that folder, if it is a test instance, instance name. Okay, instance name. Okay, and again in that date, in that, then again you create a folder gold. Okay, then you copy all dot whatever files here. You remember. So what will happen is, if something goes wrong, you don't have to look for everywhere. You just go open this file, you compare it, see the difference in this file after running the autoconfig, or some other team members might have run it. You just compare it, you open and add this value in this file, and it will, you retest, and the issue will get resolved. Okay, you are getting my point, right? Auto config is resetting your mobile. What will you do? Okay, if suppose you want to reset your mobile, first you will take a backup of your contacts. Second, you will take important files which are there in your mobile, whatever it is. Then you will do a reset, right? Exactly. Same thing we have to apply there. We don't have to know everything. We just have to know whatever might be the setup. These important files are these. Take a backup and keep it. If Adi Rat, half midnight, 2 a.m., somebody says instance is not working, means you don't tell your friends that I kept it here. Karke. You personally open your this thing, compare it here. That's it. First checklist is okay. These are the things. If it is fine, earlier it is working fine, now it is not working, means you go and check. Okay, mostly the issues will come on clones. Okay, because you work, when you work on a different for different customers, right? You will get a better understanding. Out of my experience, I'm just sharing this with you, because you see, once what happened is, it was a instance, 4 node application 1, application 2, application 3, application 4. So, okay, one more thing, auto config. If you have 4 nodes, always remember a thumb rule. You start with A, B, C, D, and you end with A. Start with A, end with A. Auto config sequence A, B, C, D, and A, which means starting which node you ran auto config, again after finishing everything, you will run again here. That is a sequence that nobody taught me. I learned over years of experience. I'm still yet to see a document which says that, what is the right sequence. But this is the right sequence actually. Okay. Okay. So always, if there are more than one application nodes, remember thumb rule, or how some companies will have 14 application nodes. I have not worked on it, but my other colleagues or my other user community people told me that there are 14 instances. So if I am on there, I will not get panicked. I will say that start with A, end with A. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then last is A. That is the sequence we have to follow. Okay, this is clear, right? Yes, now auto config. One more point is, anytime you modify your context.xml file, you have to run the auto config. Okay, you can also roll back the auto config, run the auto config in test mode also. Okay, one more thing. What happens is, if you run the auto config in test mode, there are different modes in which you can run the auto config. If you run the auto config in test mode, it will tell you which files it will go and change. It will tell you which are the files it is going to modify. Then you can probably go, it is easy for you to go and take a backup of those files. Okay. Okay. This module introduces autoconfig utility and the process of configuring the Oracle application system. This module consists of context files. We know what is context file. Introduction to autoconfig features, operations, running autoconfig from application manager, running the support card, restoring previous configuration, comparing configuration. Okay. Rapid install captures the configuration parameter associated with the installation in 2 context files. The parameter for the application tier Appletop and the application tier technical stacks are there in the context file. Parameters for the database tiers are stored in the database file. We have seen one XML file is there on the Oracle Home database or RDBMS Oracle Home, and one context file will be exist in the application tier. Okay, you can edit the existing configuration parameters using OAM. There is a front end navigation using that also you can modify, but no, mostly maximum times we will use you will open the XML file and we will modify it. When you have the new parameters, OAM stores them and and automatically updates the context file. You must run the autoconfig script to update the system configuration files, database profiles, and the new parameters. Okay. Benefits. By describing all services for the particular Apple top in a single application text, services can be start up and shut down easily. Use of single application context file allows services to be added or removed without having modified the core startup shutdown mechanism. There are few files for the development to maintain that support improve the robust and reliable across Oracle. I remember I told you, let's say your env file is deleted. Then if you run the autoconfig now, automatically it will generate a new uh, context file. Sorry, new, what is that? Env file. Getting? Okay, the application context file is how it is. Context name. Tell me what is the context name. SID underscore host name dot XML file. And what is the location? Instance tops, apps, context name, Apple admin for each node of the application tier. Contains configuration information of the application tier of a specific system. It is used to configure all the other files necessary to set up and make available particular application system. Yeah, I gave you 3 guides. By any chance you got chance to look at it? No. You go through in detail every small and every critical thing and every script and which script will do what. It is written in that. Okay. Okay, and in the database also, you remember there is a apps util folder. Inside apps util folder, there is a XML file on the database tier. Okay. Okay, benefits of context file support shared application file system, allow you to synchronize multiple nodes. Okay, introduction to autoconfig. Where is that main part? Okay. The autoconfig script uses the template files to determine the basic settings that are needed. There are one template for each configuration file. Different versions of file exist on Unix and Windows. The template file that are located in the prod top admin template directory. Okay, I'm just what is that? Where is my? I'll try to open my session. That computer. Okay. Autoconfig instantiation activities includes instantiation of a configuration file to be used at runtime, instantiation of a SQL script that will set profile option values that can either site or instance specific, instantiation of a shell script that will just create SQL script and then execute the shell script, instantiation of script that start up and shut down services, Java server processes. Okay, on the database node, you have autoconfig script where rdbms home, apps util, script, context name. Okay, and on the application tier, instance top admin script. This is the location of our autoconfig. Okay, let us say uh, that uh, that some autoconfig file is only deleted. Okay, in instance top admin script. Then in ad top bin there is a file called adconfig.sh. If you run the adconfig.sh, automatically it will generate all the files which are there inside. Okay, this is the main thing. Autoconfig creates configuration files by reading several different types of files from various locations: context files, driver files, template files, and configuration files. Okay, by and large, it will look for information what is there in the context file. That is point number 1. Driver profiles one by product. Okay, template files. See, we have seen this, right? Forward url.conf. Okay, there will be some template inside that will already have the information. So autoconfig will invoke internally that particular template and try to reset it. Okay, I'll just drink water and come here. I'm feeling thirsty. Huh? Just a second. By reading several locations. Okay, Suresh. Okay. Running the autoconfig. You must run the autoconfig for your system to make any context file updates to your system. Doing so generates the new configuration files for the associated technological stack. Autoconfig uses the parameters stored in the context file and system or configuration templates to create new process control scripts and update system profile. You see, what happens is autoconfig will not only replaces the so many things, but also what it will do is it will actually update the system profiles. There are so many profiles there in the Oracle application. It will update that. Okay, just a second. I'm start. Okay. Okay, how to run the autoconfig? Log in as an appropriate user, set the environment file, run the autoconfig on the application tier to update the configuration and profiles on the application tier, run the autoconfig on the database tier to update the configurations and profiles on the database tier. Start all the services. So we know very well, whenever you run the autoconfig, we have to shut down the application services. Once the services are shut down only, that time only we will run the autoconfig. That is point number one. Point number two is, whenever the autoconfig run is completed, you have to replace the files if at all files are there, which we discuss in the initial session, and then you start the services. You will not face any errors. Okay. Location of our autoconfig is instance top, admin, scripts, autoconfig. This is the our autoconfig file name. AD, everything will you remember, you must have observed, starts with AD. AD, AUTO, auto, CFG is configuration. AD autoconfig.sh. Okay. On Windows, it will be same location, but .cmd file will be there. The moment you run the autoconfig, it will prompt for apps password. Okay. Okay. To start the autoconfig on the database tier, always we know where for sure the only difference between normal database home and EBS database home is this apps util folder. This apps util folder is the one which will have our scripts for autoconfig and other scripts related to apps. So after going to RDBMS Oracle Home apps util scripts, context name sid underscore host name, you go here, you run the ad autoconfig.sh. Okay, clear? Okay. Autoconfig log files. Let's say when you run the autoconfig, there's most of the times or sometimes you will get errors. You have to open the autoconfig log file and check what error we are getting, and you have to search in the support.oracle.com website. Most of the time you will get the fix. If at all it's a production instance, you raise an SR, upload these log files from the autoconfig log files, then they'll provide you the solution. Once that fix is done, rerun the autoconfig. Always ensure your autoconfig should be successful. That is your thumb rule. You remember always. Autoconfig should give the output as successful. Any time it is giving a error, completed with error, then you have to investigate why autoconfig is failing, what could have went wrong. You have to go to the log location, open the log files, look for errors, copy those errors in the support.oracle website, look for solution. Still, if it is not giving any meaningful results, raise an SR. Definitely. Let's say you got an autoconfig error. Okay. And then what happened? It's your production box. Okay. You saw something on the internet is like some Oracle blogs from other DBAs. But if what is the difference? It can fix also. As a real-time DBA, we have to make sure that we are safe. Anything on the production which we do, you always follow Oracle support SR, because if something goes wrong, they are responsible. It is their duty to fix our issue. Okay, it is not our duty to fix the issues on the production. Always production boxes are protected by support.oracle.com. They will provide us all the fixes if it is a seeded one, like, because it is their product, right? They will tell us what is the reason for it and why did it fail. Clear? Don't just look for for when you're non-prods may it is fine, but for production always remember you have to coordinate with your raise an SR and then get the solution. And if somebody from the customer side asks, hey boss, you cannot just implement it, why have you implemented it? Internet may you will find so many things. Then you can say, boss, though we have fixed it from seeing from the internet, we have also raised an SR and we have documented, and you can include that step in the SOP document. Okay. Rolling back an auto config session. Can you roll back the auto config? Yes, you can. Whatever the changes, the configuration changes auto config did, it can be rolled back. Okay. What is the script? Restore.sh. When you run the restore.sh script, see, these all scripts will be present inside that instance top admin script home only. You have to say sh restore.sh, it will restore it. That's it. You don't have to worry at all. Okay. I never ran restore.sh because you see, in real time you cannot play around. In real time you just cannot play around. And if it depends on the environment also, but there are so many things which we learn which we cannot implement. The moment you learn but you have not practiced or you don't know the impact, then always be on a safer side. Okay. Always take your superiors into confidence before running anything, so that if something goes wrong, they are aware. And also, one more thing. Let's say, always make a habit here. What you do is, now you are into shift. Okay. You do one thing. You open an Excel sheet like this. Okay. Then you step one, uh, uh, connect to the server. Starting in your starting desk. Okay. Here you give the server name. Okay. Test.oracle.com. Okay. Step two. Okay. What you do? Switch to user Oracle. Okay. Step three. Okay. Source the env. Okay. Then step four. What we will do? Uh, let's say you have to run the autocon. Okay. Then here you add one column. Completed. Example I'm giving you, completed. So let's say you went for a break after running the autoconfig. Now you have to apply a patch here. Then you'll, even in discussions or in many things, if you did not have sound sleep, you will forget. So always you save this document of that particular day in your folder on your machine. Then if you go for 2 hours break outside, let's say before lunch, you completed the task till here, means after coming from lunch, you know that, okay, this is all is done. Now I am clear. I have to proceed from here. No repeating of auto config. Conflict will not be there. Suppose you did auto config, again you're doing auto config. You're getting my point. Yeah, it is a good habit also. Nobody will teach you, but people will tell you, small things enduku, like that they will tell you, but that will help you. Let's say you are into a night shift. What will happen is, you will get sleep after 2 o'clock. You cannot control, but when you have to do activities on the production, now you write like this. You write all the 12 steps till 13th step. You completed now. Okay, you mention it as completed. Then you sleep for 2 hours. Then after 2 hours, again you have to send the status update also, right? You wake up after 2 hours, you work here, you say work in progress. Now if suppose somebody is asking, where are we? Somebody, people are always there to chase. They think that freshers are not working. Then all you can directly you can copy and paste this, put it in the chat and an email. Okay, till here I completed, please proceed further. That's it. It's a good habit also. Small thing will make our life easier also, boss. That you remember one thing. Good na? Okay. Editing autoconfig, manage configuration files. Running the autoconfig script to propagate changes overrides existing configuration files. This process may override any customization you may want to see. This is what it is talking about. This process may override any customizations you made to the configuration files. To prevent any unwanted changes, use the test mode to determine the impact of autoconfig without actually making any update. So always, first step, you run the autoconfig in test mode and identify, okay, what it is doing. How to run it? AD top bin mein jaake AD check config.sh. This is the script to test the autoconfig internally. It will, you run this script AD check.config. This script will be there in that maintenance guide here. Don't worry. Location wise also, you have to go through it. But once you are seeing, see whatever we are discussing now, you will recollect. It will be there in your memory. You will really recollect when you are reading that. Or else, you can remember the test mode, how to run autoconfig in test mode in Google. If you type, you will get it. Okay. Okay. On the database also. See, on the database, if you have rack installed, RAC, more than application node, that time, what will happen is, if listener file or TNS files or these two or env files, if some customizations are there, if it is overwritten, then To know that, always run the auto config in the test mode. Then you identify, you take a backup, then you run it and you replace the values. In this way, you are learning the troubleshooting also. Yes or no? Acha, one more thing we can do. What we can do is the files which are getting modified, you can compare it with the instance which is working. Same location will be there, correct? How to do a troubleshooting is you open one session on this server. If it is not working, you open another session on the another instance, connect to the, if it is dev, you connect it to dev 2. You just check or compare it. That is how you will do the troubleshooting if you don't have all the documents in place. Okay. Okay. Running autoconfig in test mode, configuration report. The autoconfig test mode script produces a configuration report that shows the changes the autoconfig script would have made. The configuration report is check cfg check.html. It is written to instance top admin out and with date, timestamp, month, month, dd date, hours and minutes, at what time it has run, both on the instance or rdbms home app util log. Okay. We will run the autoconfig in test mode in my this thing. Let me just start. Wait. You're getting it right? Today you're alone, huh? You know voice, no noise. Connected headset. Okay. No, you're actually. I'm not getting. See, my shift is at 3 o'clock. So what is happening is immediately after lunch I have to start the other thing. Now I am not getting rest. Continuously speaking, I noticed that I'm getting exhausted. But at the time of actual my shift starts, I'm feeling drowsy. Yeah. Okay. What is that? Hmm. Okay. I need desk. OSI. OSI. Hmm. Okay. Now, what is it? Auto adapt resolution. Getting na? You're able to see, right? You're not able to see? Okay. Cool. More zoom, huh? Still? Yeah. Okay. This is 12.2 instance. Admin script home. Now, yeah, just a second. Okay, you see, we came into Apple top, ad top bin. Okay. Okay, echo dollar context file. Okay, so sh ad config dot sh. Okay, then it is asking for the path. Okay, now the path is, okay, I'll write it down. U01 install apps fs1 inst apps, then ebs db underscore every app apps. Okay, ebl apps, where else, apple admin, that is how it is, right? Admin ebsdb underscore apps dot xml apps. Yeah, you're able to see, right? Yeah. Hmm. Okay, it got completed, correct? Now Okay, what is the location? Instance top admin out. See, these are the files it will go and touch. Okay, HTML file and XML files. Okay. Suppose if you have any customization in these files, you better take a see. You're able to see, right? So I should know that these are the only files which autoconfig will touch. Okay. So you go and you run this AD check config, take a backup of these files in your environment and compare it with and open and see what is there exactly. Vi ssl terminator dot conf ssl terminator dot, and if some values are written over here, simulate https on like this, some characters will be written, that if it is modified then your instance will not work. So what you have to do, you have to just run it, compare it with the instance which is working, put it there, document it and release the instance. Okay, clear, right? Chalo, very good. Check configuration dot html. Okay, all port pools information is here. SL, if it is an SSL port, it has to be 44443 RPC port, blah blah blah. You're seeing, right? So interesting. Once you get the access to the system, this is how you have to explore. Yeah. That is what. Okay. Now running autoconfig from OAM. We said, right, we can also modify the, this is the default password for sysadmin is what? We discussed already. Please tell me. Sysadmin is sysadmin only. Always remember. Okay, but default password will be changed. Okay. Now after going to the sysadmin, you'll see the screen like this. Oracle Application Manager. This screen will come. You click there. Then you come here in the administration tab, auto config. Click. Then you can see that one database configuration file, one application configuration file. Okay. You expand that, you'll find the whole path. Okay. Now you can see each individual values, whatever it is there. If you want to modify, you can modify from here also and run the auto config, but it is always recommended to do it from there. Sometimes if HTML page has got bugs, it will not reflect. So majority of the time we will run it from there only. Okay. Once you do the changes, you do okay. Likewise, perform changes. Okay, like that. Okay. Restoring a previous configuration. Access auto config via OAM. View configuration history. Select the configuration parameter. Restore the show history. Here you can see if anything has been modified recently or what. Karke. Show difference from the current configuration. Sixth को change हुआ 20 को change हुआ it can go and check. Okay, use current file, use restore previous one. You can click and restore it. These options nobody will try here. It is, though it is there, because it's a, we don't know if something plus or minus, if we do what will happen karke, out of hesitation. But yeah, that's it here for auto config. Okay, now what? 115. Next topic is what? License manager. Yes, we can discuss this quickly. Okay, I'll first quickly show you how to do it, then we will talk in detail. Okay, let's say at the time of installation, customer has only bought financial licenses. Now, the customer business has expanded. They have also purchased few other licenses like inventory, purchasing, whatever it is. So it is your duty to enable the licenses, right? Which is not enabled at the time of installation. How to do it? You log into the sysadmin, same tab where you have seen auto config. Below that, a license manager is there. You click license manager, then like this page will come. Then you have to do is click here, license manager home, licensing e-business suite. You have to click that, and then whatever is the licenses the customer has procured, you give a tick mark here. Okay, order management, marketing, intelligence, these things you have ticked. You just say next. Next means okay, add on, display the information, even add on products, and then you click okay. Okay, that's it. Now once this is all done, you remember what you have to do is, suppose like the same way you can enable the languages also. Wherever from the license manager, you enable the language. If you want to enable Arabic, this is how you have to come. From the front end, you come languages. American is already there. You are in, you're installing Danish. You come, click, tick this, and go next, and then next, then next, then next. You finish. Okay. Once a new language is enabled, once a new license is enabled. Remember, we discussed the previous sessions. Regenerate forms, regenerate reports, regenerate message files using AD admin, and then release the instance to the end users. Okay. So right. So how to do it? Using front end. Using front end, you can do it. Okay, Suresh, we'll discuss tomorrow here in detail about the license manager. Same thing only with some different examples. Ah, you're welcome here. Okay, bye bye.